You are now listening to Redbeard Talks Redbirds, your home for all things Cardinals baseball. All right, welcome back, Redbeard Talks Redbirds. We are live in the Hobby Card Shop in Jupiter, Florida. We just walked out of the game at, what's it called, the Spring Breakout. Roger Dean Stadium. It was slightly underwhelming. Not a ton of fans there, but I enjoyed it. I was having fun.
Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was a really good game to start, and then kind of had a lull, and then again got exciting at the end.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, Matt Johnson, Blake Yager. Sorry.
Hi guys.
Did you have a chance to watch
It was nice
it?
to watch when I could.
Yeah.
Here, Tinkins looked really nice.
He was strong. At least the second inning. I missed the first inning, but his first inning was real good.
He's small, which scares you long term about his frame. But man, he is what you want in a pitcher. His just everything about him screams future stud, in my opinion.
He hit 96 2 or 3 times that I noticed.
Yep.
So I mean,
they were gushing about him on there. He did a live interview of him in the dugout, which is pretty cool. And
I don't care that he's small. I mean, Sonny Gray is what, 5'9", 5'10"?
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder how he gets that kind of velocity at that size.
Right.
Don't worry about it. Dude,
no. You get legs on him.
Yeah.
Drive.
Apparently, yeah.
Get that push.
Yep.
But it's good because his command of his pitches too. Because again
He looks pretty good.
Yeah, his changeup too makes him that much faster because again he gets a changeup somewhere
Got
in
the difference.
Yeah,
delta.
The mid to low 70s.
Yeah.
Again, if you can get that,
you get 20 miles an hour between them.
And that makes sure it looks like it's 10 miles an hour faster.
You can't adjust to that.
No, and that's what makes them that much more dangerous.
Okay, I like it. Well, here in a couple hours, the big boys are going to be playing. They're playing the Marlins, I believe. I'm excited for that one. We'll see how many of the big fellas actually get into that game. I haven't seen the lineup yet.
I have to imagine we're going to see a pretty strong lineup this evening.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, real quick, we got to touch on this. News of the day, Oli Marmol gets a 2-year extension for 25 and 26. And every reaction I have felt and seen and heard is exactly what you just did.
Well, I've been here at work all day, and I pay attention as I can to the sports world when I've got the TVs here, but it's hard to really pay attention to what's going on.
Well, you're working.
And you told me that.
You slacking bastard.
What? We re-signed him to a 2-year coming off a 71 and 91 campaign?
I don't
know.
I like Oli. Dude's a nice guy. Soft-spoken, probably too much so, but not my job. I'll stay out of that.
Yep.
But when you have a season of 71 wins, and we're in spring training, and you're going to offer the manager a 2-year extension on before a season starts, a season that is very important on where this organization's going.
This is an incredibly pivotal season. I mean, I think the writing's on the wall that the front office is going to have some shakeup coming real soon. I think
certainly looks like it.
With Bloom coming in, I think we're going to see some. I just think that why do you take that step to sign a manager to a 2-year extension coming off? Like, let's get into the season. Let's see where
to July.
The fundamentals were so lacking last year. Can we get into the season and see where we're at?
Can we take a beat? Can we have a minute?
Well, considering we didn't have one person with a season-long batting average over 280. No one, not even, Goldie or Romo. Neither one of them.
I think Goldie was like 276.
And I think Goldie was around the same. Or, I'm sorry, Arenado was about the same. So, and then you also have not a winning pitcher. Pitcher with a winning record on the staff.
Yeah, I mean, just the defense, the base running, the simple stuff, the Cardinal way, Cardinal baseball. That was not Cardinal baseball last year. And I'm sorry, at the end of the day, you're the manager of the team. You're the one.
Buck
stops with you. And we have our worst record in a generation of Cardinal baseball, and we sign. I don't know. I'm with you. I don't hate. I am not an Oli hater. I think he could be the right guy for the job, but I think the timing is poor at best, in my opinion.
There are way too many questions to go around everywhere on what is happening, what has been happening, and what will happen to to dole that out. There's just too many questions. What are we doing? Why are we doing this now? Why don't we wait? If it's a thing.
Yeah, I want to interrupt because this is really cool. Just doing a podcast talking about Cardinal baseball and the amount of Cardinal fans just walking by in Cardinal jerseys and like we're getting close to the season. Sorry to interrupt. It's cool.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. We've got folks walking right by. The stadium is right across the street. We're right here in Abacoa, Roger Dean Stadium, Hobby Card Shop. This is Blake, so come see him.
Come check us out.
It is exciting. I love being here this time of year and all the red walking around. It's a good time. It's a good time. You should spend more time down here.
Yeah, well, I grew up here. That's what said you're right. I should probably
Come
come
on.
down a little more. But like I said, it's a sweet little town. But I got to go back to the 71 wins last year. The last time we won that few games, it was 74 wins. It was 1986. And that's virtually when the team got hit by a bus with injuries.
Yeah.
Because remember, we were in the World Series in 85 and 87.
Yeah.
So bookends on both that season, but that season again.
Yeah. It's
74 wins. And again, I remember why you talking about, well, we couldn't catch the Mets unless they got hit by a bus.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, as injuries went, we got hit by a bus that year.
Yeah.
So,
Well, this is one of those seasons where we have to prove that we're in a similar situation, and I think there's a lot of angst and a lot of people that are going, I don't know if we're there.
I mean, some of the angst, like Tommy Edman, like we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Like Tommy, we were out of contention last year. This surgery was coming.
Yeah.
Why put it off until the offseason? And now our center fielder are what we hope to be everyday center fielder, so we don't have guys changing positions every day.
Right.
That's a frustrating one to me.
He's our best defensive fielder at 4 different positions, and we waited.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That sends ripples throughout the entire
It really
team.
does.
So that's a whole thing. I have written down here outfield situation. So Tommy's on the shelf. Massive question mark, in my opinion, for the entire season. And so
That's a
then
big
you've
injury.
let's run down the list. Now you've got Dylan Carlson back in center, who a few years ago we all thought, okay, he's going to be the future, he's going to be good, this is going to work out well. He hasn't been able to show up and do what we thought he could, so he's a giant question mark there.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got Victor Scott, which has been playing great, but the dude hasn't played a game at
not been
AAA.
tested yet.
He's not on the 40-man roster,
He is
which
incredibly
you and I
exciting
talked
to
about
watch.
the other day, actually.
Yeah.
So he's probably not going to get a chance anytime soon.
I would be very surprised to see him on the opening day roster.
I agree.
It's not what the Cardinals do.
Right.
Alec Burleson, he's having a great spring. He's earned
Burleson
that
is
spot.
swinging the bat. I'm excited to see if his defense picks up, but he is looking great, and I really hope he gets the spot that he deserves, the chance.
Yeah, I mean, we're all excited about Victor Scott. Everyone is. But we can't rush the kid. Like,
I agree.
Yeah. Well, it's like we rushed Colton Wong,
Yeah.
and for better or
Is
for
that the
worse.
best example?
Well,
the worst
I'm
thing
just-
he did is he got picked off in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, but I mean, was he
Don't
really?
remind me.
He had a lot of promise to him. There was a lot of promise surrounding when he came in, and then it seems like when he got picked off in the playoffs, he was never the same.
Yeah.
He was never the same player.
You know,
I would argue with you there, but I know what you mean.
But, I think a comment you made there is interesting, that promise that the Cardinals and their love of their prospects. I get it. We all love ours, but how often do the Cardinals overvalue their prospects? Like I think Victor Scott is going to be a great ball player, but I think we all need to temper our expectations. It's spring
fair.
ball. He's not played a game above AA yet. He's young. He's 23, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm
He might
excited.
be 21.
I'm excited about him, but I also think Alec Burleson is a professional hitter.
Big
And
time.
given a shot to hit, I think he's earned that shot. He doesn't deserve to be in AAA.
As far as offense goes, he's a Nolan Gorman type. Maybe better
I
batter
mean,
and not as much power.
You
From
put him in the
putting the
everyday
ball
lineup,
in
though.
play, I could not agree more. Like
He won a Silver Slugger or a batting
Yeah,
title in
yeah,
AAA.
yeah.
Dude can hit.
Yeah.
We know he can. Let him play.
I
I
mean,
mean, does that transition to Major League Baseball? We'll see.
yeah,
Again,
give him
He's
400.
already
Give
shown
him
us
400,
Yeah,
500
where do you
at
put him?
bats.
Where do you put him in the lineup? Okay, let's say he's everyday starter.
Left field and DH. Gorman's been
Okay.
playing a lot of second this spring.
But I mean, do you put him at number 5 in the lineup, or I mean?
You can put him wherever.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of our current lineup. If people perform half as well as they're supposed to,
Yep.
you've got 4 guys on that squad that can hit in the number 4 spot.
which that's and then you look at Victor with how many stolen bases do you think is a season? I mean,
Honestly, I don't
is he
even
another
care.
Vince Carter?
I don't even
care.
For me, it's the threat of him stealing.
Yeah.
That does more for me than his actual numbers.
Every time he's on base, you can see how much it affects the pitcher, affects the defense. Even if he doesn't go, they're on their toes.
You got the catcher back there looking at him, not worrying about what pitch is coming next. The pitcher's doing the same thing. It's a ripple effect.
But it's great, like what they did. I think, in my opinion, put him on the same trajectory as Mason Wynn. You let him go down to AAA, get his seasoning, end the season, depending on where you bring him up, playoff run, he's on the roster,
Yeah,
he's
I
a
agree.
speed guy, otherwise he gets that experience and he's ready to roll next year.
I agree. So the other thing that this whole outfield situation does, obviously we haven't talked about it, but Nootbaar broke his ribs, so he's probably coming back soon, but he's out for now. He's, he may not make the opening day roster.
Yeah.
But yesterday, Brendan Donovan's playing left field in spring training.
Yeah.
So our starting second baseman is now playing left field. Our starting center fielder is out. Our starting left fielder is out. We've got our DH playing second base.
It's just trending goes, right?
I think it's weird merry-go-round. Where do we get off?
I think
one
it's
knows.
great if Nolan can become a serviceable second baseman. He doesn't have to be a Gold Glover, but
I agree.
If he can be serviceable there, and they can count on him to be basically a zero defensive run saves, 0 loss, 0 gain, just an
That's
average,
a huge win for
That's
me.
a huge win if they can just trot him out to second every day. Save that DH spot for a Burley, a Walker, giving guys a day off. I think that's and it's nice seeing them trot him out every day. He's been at second base dang near every game that he's playing.
And he's doing all right. I mean, the dude was a third baseman. He can handle it.
Yeah.
He may not have quite the range as your typical second baseman, but the dude can field.
Mason Wynn will make up for that at short.
There you go. You got Goldie at first. He's a Gold Glove man.
Yep.
So I mean, there's not a lot of liability there, but it throws in a whole lot more question marks with the whole outfield mess.
Yeah, it does.
It just makes that situation ugly, and I'm not a fan of that.
Frankly, it's been an outfield mess for how many? I mean, since 2000.
Since before Jason Hayward came over.
We'll say it's been a while.
Yeah. All right. Well, Tommy Edmonds hurt. He's out for opening day. In my opinion, big question mark all
I think it's
year.
going to be an issue all season.
So Brendan Donovan's looking good. He had a little surgery as well, but he's looking pretty good.
He looks recovered. He looks like the Donnie of old.
I haven't really seen the offense that I would like to see, but again, it's spring training. He's just trying to get work in.
I refuse to
He
read
did
in
the
the spring.
day-to-day grind. That's that's what it comes down to.
I don't think I'm concerned about that. I think for me, he thought he was settled at second base, and now we're doing the same thing to him that we did to Tommy Edman, and now he's getting shuffled around, and so what are the ripple effects of that? Is his offense going to suffer because he doesn't know where he's going to play or if he's going to play, which glove to bring to the ballpark, all those things.
Yeah, I guess that's the wait and see.
They're-
You got to think these guys are professionals, and hopefully, and you think by the time they've got to this part in their career, they pretty much played every position
Right.
in the field.
It shouldn't be, you would hope.
Yeah,
but-
and
Yeah,
hoping
I
that-
mean, this isn't Little League anymore.
No,
but
no,
yes.
that's true. Yeah, I just, I mean, let's face it. There was a time when Albert Pujols was a shortstop.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean,
he
he
was.
and that's why I said it's it's just one of those things that
I mean, I think at this level they have to be able to play those positions, but I think inevitably having to move around on the defensive side of the ball, you're going to bring that to the offensive side. Unfortunately, I think it's just
We're human beings.
Yeah, like I think, and that's why it's so key. If Tommy can be our everyday center fielder, if Nolan can be our everyday second baseman, then we start having guys that are just out on a rotation, not having to go here to here to here to here based on injuries, based on who's pit.
It does make for some excitement.
It does make
Who's
for,
going to be where? It's going to be fun.
we have
See what happens.
excitement last year.
it's one of those things that we're going to
Wrong type of excitement.
What's it
look
going
for
to be
something
like
different.
what's going to be like in the locker room? What's it going to be like in the dugout? Because you look at again last year with 71 wins.
Tell you what, this
That
locker
wasn't the
room,
best.
this locker room better be the best locker room in Major League Baseball.
We've
this year
talked
after
it
some
up
of
for a
these-
long time.
I mean, with the moves that they're bringing, and then Nolan and Goldie having say in bringing in some of these veterans and potentially taking away roster spots from an Alec Burleson, from
Yes.
Young guys that, frankly, should have a shot at this point don't
Yes.
need to be back in AAA anymore.
Yeah.
So we better not hear any complaints about a locker room this year. And
If this year does not go decent, then I'm afraid the Cardinals are going to have to make some real tough decisions coming up.
then why sign Oli to a 2-year extension today?
I don't know. And neither does anyone else in Cardinal Nation. Are you listening?
Well, let's face it. The coach is the easiest thing to get rid of. All right?
It is, for sure.
But it's the whole staff and everything that goes with
Yeah.
it.
But like, we've got
You're
enough
talking
people
about
down the
legacy
road.
players on this
Why
staff.
today,
Yeah.
2 weeks before the season starts, coming off a 91-loss season?
I don't know, man.
But do you really think they send Yoki packing? Or
Well, he's on the Palm Beach staff.
but I mean, that's what I said with the whole staff. I mean, these legacy Cardinals, you really think they send them packing or just say, all right, it didn't work, let's kind of shuffle it around? These are baseball men.
I mean, LaRussa was the last outside the organization person that this team brought in.
That's
And
true.
he
Since then,
became
it's
a great inside guy though too. I mean,
Yeah,
he's a Hall of Famer on the
absolutely.
wall. So
But I think it comes back to that. That's why they brought someone like a Chain Bloom in. They need other people than just.
See, that's
Cardinal
part of my
brains
fear,
looking at it.
though. Like you mentioned, Bloom in particular. I feel like the Cardinals have gotten too much about the numbers and the analytics, and they're at least the front office. From the front office perspective, I feel like they're not paying enough attention to actual baseball people and knowledge and instincts. And yes, analytics and numbers and all these things play a huge role, and you have to figure out how to use those well to help the team, help the coaches, help the players. But if you don't have people that know the game and know their players and what's happening and what's going to work out right now,
Yeah, that's fair.
you're just shooting
That's
in the
fair.
dark.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, they're gonna have a lot of pressure on their shoulders this year with having an early first-round pick for the first time in decades.
I hope they're feeling the pressure. Like I
Yeah,
said,
they should.
I like Ollie, but at this moment, that move it smells to me like he is a puppet for the front office and they like it.
I think that's a fair assessment.
but it's also, I mean, team identity. What is our identity going to be this year? This is what it was last year. You know,
It better not be. That's
we
the
a-
whole point of
are
this
we a
offseason
slugging
and everything
team
we've been
with,
talking
you know,
about.
we a slugging team with good, but not great pitching. We a defensive team with great pitching.
Hey, I'm
you know.
super excited about our bullpen.
Dude,
Yeah,
I think our bullpen could be one of the
and
best
really that's
pens
been a
in
weakness
baseball.
of ours. in
we got
years
to
past.
see
I mean,
basically every major pitch
Yeah.
of the bullpen yesterday, minus Middleton.
Yeah,
And they all looked good. Romero was decent.
he had a rough game
better,
Monday
though.
at the game we were at.
His whole spring has been rough, but yesterday it was pretty good.
He looked good yesterday.
I'm sorry. I think I interrupted you.
no, it's fine. I'm saying we've got to find our identity, and we got to find it early.
Yeah,
You know, I'm talking
I feel like they better have it already.
April early. Well, that's what I've said. I mean, because in years past, the last 5-6 years, we were always kind of in the middle of the pack, and then we'd have this strong July, and then that would kind of take us into the playoffs.
right. Yep.
I don't like being that way anymore. I
No.
want us to actually get going, get on track here. April,
Well,
get the
they're
train going, and let's get. 100
they're gonna
wins.
have a hell of a test to start the season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they got a
'cause- yeah.
tough first week.
Dodgers, Padres off the jump.
Yeah, that's doesn't get any
I saw
tougher than
I
that.
saw a post last night with potential who the first 7 pitchers we could face are, and it's it's a daunting opening start
Makes
to
you
the
wanna cry.
season. we got Sonny Gray every 5th day.
There you go. Hey, Lance was strong.
He was
We'll see.
strong.
I'm looking
We'll see.
forward to a bounce back from him. Back to what you were just talking about, trying to actually win games early and why wait. That's kind of something LaRussa would always talk about. It's every game counts and they all count the same.
Yeah.
He always pushed his team to perform and win as many as you can early in the season while the other teams are still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Why wait? Go win ball games. Screw this crap.
Well, that's it. And they had that 2011 miracle when they won 27 of the last 30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Something outrageous like that. And again, how many of those in a generation do you have in 100 years? I mean, my dad, I guess, told me about one back in the 60s. I guess the 64 championship was that same way. So you go 64 and 2011. That's over 50 years. And and again, they don't realize how critical those first, April and May are.
well, it sets the tone for your
It
season.
really does. And again, we can't keep coming, having that magical July and expecting,
No,
well, we're not the top seed, we're the 3 seed.
Yeah.
And then, we got knocked out in the the NLCS or because
It's a do or die season.
Absolutely.
I cannot wrap my mind around them.
And if you look at our successful
re-upping
seasons,
Ollie today.
I know. I should have told you sooner. Giving you a minute to digest this.
There's a lot on the line this season. They can't perform like they did last year. Like you said, it comes out early out the gate. They've got to set the tone. We can't see four straight 4-inning outings out of our starting pitchers and have to rely on the bullpen all season. Yeah, we're gonna have a great bullpen, but the strategy of signing guys that we hope are gonna give us quality starts, so we don't have to be in the bullpen the fourth, fifth inning. It better be successful, otherwise we're gonna be looking a lot like last year, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're getting 4-inning, outings for pitchers, I mean, as he's walking to the dugout, I say, "Do I got to pay you today?" Something like that. Yeah, 31 pitches.
That's not a question you want to
Good
ask.
gosh, And you're right, we can't keep going, because the middle relievers will get tired, and then now it's July.
That's what happened last year.
Yeah, that's.
All right, so on that note, let's do some projections on this season, because in my mind, we've got some people in place where we should be able to take steps forward in pretty much every area, but will it actually happen? What are we thinking? Run through.
I mean, so our bullpen had 30 plus blown save opportunities
There were
last year.
18 actual blown saves.
So I mean, I think that alone, a healthy season out of Ryan Helsley is going to be a huge. That's 10 wins right there.
Yeah.
A healthy Ryan Helsley is 10 wins to that team.
Mm-hmm.
Do they get to 90 wins? I don't know. I personally don't see them getting to 90 wins as they are. I don't think it takes 90 wins to win the division this year. 86,
Most
87.
would agree with you.
86, 87, somewhere in that.
Yeah.
I think is.
Well, let's say we get half of those blown
number.
saves. We get half of there's your
500 team right there.
Yeah,
right there.
that's exactly right.
And then more help from the pitching staff. Then so it's not hard. It won't be hard to get there. It really.
That's actually kind of been my argument. The offense was down. The bullpen was horrid. The starting pitchers were really bad.
Yes.
And
Nice
still,
way to
we
put
were that close to being a playoff team. If
Yeah.
you look at it that way, just convert 10 of those saves.
Yep.
You got a 500 win team, 500 baseball. And so for me, the offense should perform better. I expect Arenado, I expect Goldie to pick it up a little bit. Newtbar, I think, can and will take a step forward. Edman is a huge question mark. Carlson, big question mark. I think we can expect Jordan Walker to do the same thing.
I think we're going to see a
better.
huge step forward.
I would love it. I'm not sure if I can expect it, but I think he's going to do at least what he did last year.
Absolutely.
Mason Wynn, it's going to be really hard for him to not be better than what our shortstop was last year. It was terrible, if you remember.
Yeah.
Paul DeYoung mixed with whoever else. It was
Yeah.
awful from the shortstop position.
I'll take his glove all year. I'm excited about Mason. Just give him the shot. Let him play all year. Don't worry about his bat.
And really, he's young enough to play 150 games.
Yeah.
And
He's young enough to
Try
play
hard.
162. Put him out there. Let's go, Cal Ripken.
It's one of those things that you just want to, I mean, do you really want to put him, especially if you've got people behind,
If he's playing, if he's performing, he's feeling good, let the boy run.
Yeah. I'm trying to have tempered hope. I'm excited. Our rotation isn't getting any younger, which is very concerning.
Goldie and Arenado aren't getting younger.
No.
I mean,
Well, all of that is concerning, but there's also reasons to believe that we're taking steps forward.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think anyone's going to argue with me that we haven't taken enough steps forward.
yeah.
I think just about everyone would agree that we need one solid number 2 starter at a minimum if we actually want to be competitive. Now, the way the club is constructed right now, I feel like we've got at least 50% chance to take the division. But for that to happen, a lot of things got to go right. There's a whole lot of things that could go wrong where that won't work. And so it's just back to the same stuff. We need people to be healthy. Need people to show up, play like they're supposed to, and we need the pitching. We need the hitting.
Well, I mean, hear this out too. I mean, and you and I kind of talked about this about a month ago. We don't have that World Baseball tournament last year. And again, we lose, a 19-year starter in our catcher.
Yeah.
the staff
We
with
had
the
at
catcher
least
really
11
didn't.
players
they,
out.
Yeah, they really
I
didn't
think that had
gel.
a massive effect on the team.
You know, and that's
And we got a brand new catcher.
yeah. So that really is going to be a huge key this year.
Yeah.
How's the pitching and catching going to come together?
I'm always super positive about the Cardinals and what I think they're going to do, but I'm more pessimistic right now.
Yeah.
I do expect they can be pretty good, but I'm not as optimistic as I was about a month ago, honestly.
My exact thoughts. I want to be optimistic. I'm just, I don't know. We'll see. It's a do or die season for the front office. I thought for Oli.
Everybody. Yeah, apparently not for Oli. Oli's sitting pretty right now.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to be optimistic going to the table here. I'm thinking at least 95 wins.
95?
That would be.
What is in that water bottle? Look,
I'll have you know it's not open yet. Like I said, and again, I've been following these guys really since the mid-'70s. And I've seen them win with a lot less. Again, they're always going to have, the fans are always going to be there for them. That's going to, again,
I've always thought that, but last year was a little different.
Well,
the crowds were not really there last year. There were a lot of upset people.
Again, you have a pitching staff that's got an average ERA of about 4. You got nobody hitting 280. Are you going to really get that charged up to go to the baseball field?
You have a starting pitching staff with an average age of 34, 35 this year.
Well, that's
to his point.
That's what makes it interesting.
I think the good news is at least we're 2 weeks away.
We're about to start finding out.
We're going to find out against the Dodgers real quick.
I mean, maybe we've got a future Nolan Ryan. Did his best pitching after 35.
Yes, he did.
That's fine with me. Let's go. I'll sign him up for another extension. We'll let him take Ollie's extension.
Yeah. But it's going to be an interesting year. We'll see how it works out.
All right, so offensively, up, down, same.
I think we're going to see an uptick. I mean, we have to.
Yeah.
Like, most everyone was below their career norms across the board. As a team, our batting average and balls in play was like 100 points lower than it was the prior season, which is just sheer bad luck.
Yeah.
The other thing we have to see is with runners in scoring position, we've got to see a better batting average.
The fundamentals, their base running, their defense, their
guys
moving
over,
guys
taking extra
forward,
base.
taking extra. They were all lacking last year across
Which
the
make
board.
the
They're one of
extension-
the worst teams in baseball at all of those.
Yeah.
Right? It makes the extension that much more surprising.
That's
right?
what makes
It's just
me scratch my head.
Yeah.
Like,
nowhere to go but up.
that was not Cardinal baseball
Which again-
last year, and we're bringing back the head of that to
I know. We're speaking the same language. So what about the defense? How's the defense going to be this year compared to last year?
Well, like I said, it can't get any worse. It really can't. I mean, that's
Let's not put that out there.
You know.
Let's not challenge the universe on this.
Yeah, I'm challenging the universe right now. I'm throwing the glove off. I'm throwing the gauntlet off right now. It cannot get any worse than it was last year. Again, if you do the whole thing on the defensive side, including the pitching, it cannot get any worse. You can't have practically everybody on your staff above a 4 ERA.
Yeah.
It just the errors mounted up, and again, that means extra outs. We cannot get any worse on the defensive side of the ball. And again, we're lucky we won 71.
Well, and I have to hope on the defensive side too, if guys can settle into their positions and not be moving around so often, that can help a little. I have to imagine.
Situation.
I have to imagine we're going to see an improvement from Walker. He's moved
already
down.
shown an improvement.
Yeah, he moved down. He's lived down here. He's been at the complex the entire winter. I think we're going to see a step forward from him. Shortstop, I think we're going to see a Gold Glove caliber shortstop all season long.
I'm not worried about that.
Natto's Natto. I think we'll see the
Even
Natto,
if he
He'll be ready.
underperforms, I think
he'll be ready.
we're good.
Yeah. Second base, question mark. Catcher, question mark. I think they can be.
I
They
feel
can
like
be
Contreras is
solid.
going to be okay.
Um,
He's not Yachty, but he's going to be all right.
Yeah. I think they just need to be fundamentally sound this year.
All right, so who's the captain? Is Goldie the captain out there?
I say so.
Is Contreras the captain? Is Arenado the captain? Because outside of those guys, you don't really have a candidate.
No.
Yeah, I go Goldie.
I hope so.
I mean, that's
I would
what I go.
hope.
Yeah.
I know he's a little bit.
But
Contreras are-
both
I
him and
wouldn't-
Nato are quiet.
Yeah,
That's what I was
They're
going to say.
quiet leaders.
They're kind of
not that boisterous.
understated as far as that goes.
I honestly think, call me crazy, I know he's not going to be out there, but Matt Carpenter.
I hope so.
I
I've
don't
seen
wanna
him
say
out there
Matt
talking
Carpenter
to guys.
I don't want to say Matt Carpenter's name all podcast long. You really think he's going to play more than 100 games?
No, not at all.
And that's what I said is we can't. I mean,
But he's there.
Yeah.
He's taking batting practice. He's taking fielding practice. He's in guys' ears. I've seen it already.
he's also been on a World Series team.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's
Lance Lynn,
yeah.
same.
Crawford.
Daniel Descalso, same.
So it's, but I mean, being a captain, that's a huge role for a guy that's not an everyday, an everyday
Well, and
guy.
maybe that was the whole idea, is to spread out the captain's duties, if you will.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they went and got some of these guys.
Well, I mean, I guess that's also
That's what we're looking for.
If that, listen, the veteran players in that locker room said it was a problem, so it must be a problem, and the front office went out and got what they were asking for. So at the end of the day, they better have the issue resolved and better have that cohesive, unified locker room.
I agree. I think everyone's got a lot on the line this year, from the front office to the management to the players. I think everyone's got a lot on the line this year. Again, head scratcher on the Oli extension, but if they don't perform, then potentially everyone's out.
And maybe this is a message to the team also. Okay, coach has got a 2-year extension. He's not going anywhere. You guys do your thing.
So you're searching for player confidence with that one?
You got anything else?
All right.
Alex, I'm all
Good
ears.
point.
So
Good point.
We just signed Ollie to a 2-year extension. We have a gauntlet of the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
We fast forward to the end of the April, and the team is 4-15.
At the end of April, I'm not making any judgments, but if it's the end of June, then I'm freaking out.
Yeah. And this is also, too, we're finding out really what kind of team we are early. I mean, again, because you're really going against the National League's best. Well, yeah, I mean...
Will it even
Especially
be
with
fair,
Dodgers.
though, because of our injuries? Is Sonny Gray going to be there? We know a couple others aren't going to be there.
Outside of that,
Is it even a fair judgment?
What's scary is then our 2, 3, 4 have to go. So I think we're only missing one starter at that point, and we still have to go against the Dodgers.
And it just happens to be the one.
The one.
And you got to remember, too, this is baseball. Baseball's an odd game,
That's
especially
right.
when it comes to all the professional sports. This is an odd game.
I know. That's
the
the
best
thing,
team,
though.
the best team on paper doesn't always win.
But, that's the thing. You can have a good day. You can have a good week.
Yeah.
It's really hard to fake it for a good year.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and that's what it says. I'm just talking about the first 2 series, again, with San Diego and with LA.
Yeah.
That first 10 games, we're really going to find out what we got.
Yeah. Okay. Final thoughts?
I'm excited for the game tonight.
Me too, man.
Night game, spring
Yeah.
training.
Word
It'll
on
be
the
fun.
street is you're going to go be talking to some Cardinal
We'll see.
radio folks
We'll
today,
see.
rubbing elbows.
Possibly.
All right.
Word on the
We'll
street
see.
tells you to throw the first pitch.
Yeah. No pressure.
It's a secret that I will be throwing the first pitch at the game tonight. Don't tell
Don't
anybody.
spoil it.
It's a secret.
He's been
Sorry,
practicing
let's
all
see
day.
I wanted to be, actually. I did not take the opportunity. I wanted to be badly.
Hey, even if you throw it high and outside or in the dirt, give it all you got out.
No, not going to happen. We'll be fine. All right. Well, I guess we're going to cut this thing off. Follow, like, share, notifications. Redbeard Talks Redbirds.
Thank you guys.
Matt
Have a good
Johnson,
day.
Blake Yager, Hobby Card Shop. All right.
Appreciate
Bye,
it.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye,
Go
everybody.
Cardinals.
Go Cardinals!
Hey y'all, thank you so much once again for joining us for this episode of Redbeard Talks Redbirds podcast. Make sure you go over there, hit like and subscribe for this channel, and don't forget to hit that notification button. Make sure you don't miss the next episode. Let's go Cardinals!